Crystal? Amen. You're here. That's all that matters.
Hi. I call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. December 9th, 2025. Thank you. I'll now begin the roll call. Education Senator. Engineering and Technology Senator.
Here.
Milgard Business Senator.
Here.
Pre-Major Senator.
Present.
Social Work and Criminal Justice Senator. Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, PPPA, I am present. Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, Science and Mathematics.
Here.
Phenomenal. All right, do I see an approval of the agenda?
I motion to approve.
Senator Namat motions.
I second.
Senator Chandler seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All abstaining? Aye. The motion is adopted 401. Do I see an approval of the minutes?
I motion to approve.
Senator Namat motions.
I second.
Senator Chandler seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All abstaining?
Aye.
Aye. The motion is adopted 302. All right. Now is the time for public comment. Thank you to those who are members of the public today who are present in this meeting. This is the segment of the meeting that provides the Senate an opportunity to hear new concerns and the student perspective on current issues relating to the UW-Tacoma student body. The Senate will neither discuss nor debate topics raised in public comment. This is not because we do not value the commenter's perspective, but to ensure that any related action is taken transparently before a duly notified public at a future meeting. However, senators may ask clarifying questions of those given during the public comment or request to meet further to gain insight during the meeting. In addition, ASUWT is committed to fostering a constructive and respectful environment in these meetings. As such, we kindly ask that all remarks made during public comment reflect professionalism and respect and come from a place of mutual understanding that we are all here to advocate on behalf of students. Shouldn't you like your comments to be recorded in the minutes verbatim, we request that you send a copy of your remarks to the office manager, ASUWT1@uw.edu after they delivered. With that, we now begin public forum. There is also a 2-minute timer.
Hello, Senators. Good morning. Just want to say, disappointed in the way the process took place. As I spoke in last executive meeting, for those present, I did want to say the process is very flawed in itself, and direct admission from the acting president, Ray Watkins, has been made regarding public comment, and I'm only asking you here to make the right decision. With that being said, I did make remarks about the case and the preliminary injunction opened up and what that would look like and reflect. And I wanted to say again, I wanted to keep things internal and not have to go about things openly and in the courts. So as much as I've been transparent, I did want to say there were statements made last week, a couple of days ago, about the transparency of the Senate and what that meant. And even the 90-day which was quoted in the record, 90-day accountability process, which is actually 60. And I want to stay on the record that never took place. It was a 5-day process from the removal to the actual trial itself. So I wanted to also say, with regards to the ledger and what it meant, the leaking of the executive session, I wanted to say that there was direct admission as well from the president and the current president, Ray Watkins, about what it meant and where the sources cited from. And I did want to ask senators to be mindful of what you say, because you are public officials representing your schools, and as well as this can and will stay on the record in the future. So it's a lot of core contradictions coming from what I'm hearing from the ledger, the editor-in-chief, what was being said. I wanted to clarify, these statements are falsifications and are grounds for defamation as well. As I've stated in the last Senate meeting, it's a digital lynching, which I don't believe is fair. And again, I'm asking you to do the right thing. I'm not asking for relitigation. I'm asking for a proper trial in the Fifth Amendment and our due process. That's all I'm asking for. Again, I'm also wanted to say we want full transparency and clarity, and I have not been given that. And I wanted that to reflect the minutes as well, if my minutes can be recorded verbatim, possibly. With that also being said, I think there's also direct conflicts of interest.
Your time is up.
And I wanted to say thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing you guys do the right thing. Thank you.
Do we have any other further public comments? No? Okay. Thank you. We have no unfinished business. Now we move into our new business. First on our agenda, we have a consideration of ASUWT Bill 1. Also, Connor, are the other senators here? Are they? Thank you. Would you like to begin this discussion?
Yeah, of course. So I trust that you all had the chance to read the bill. I sent it out quite a while ago. The essential purpose of it is establishing a corrective rehearing process and then creating a judicial committee for impartial review. I'd love to hear all your concerns, ideas about the bill. I trust you all had time to read it. So, and I can read off any sections if we so wish.
So a big concern I have with this bill immediately is that it is stated as, the word impeachment is stated multiple times in this. We do not have an impeachment process at ASUWT. It is a removal of office process. So a big issue with this bill is the wording is immediately incorrect. That's a major red flag that has been sparked right away.
So is that just the biggest issue? Is the impeachment? You don't believe it's synonymous?
That's
with
not the
office?
biggest issue. That's just the first issue. I'm kind of just waiting for other senators to state their thoughts.
Okay. And I will say the word impeachment just reflects how it was spoken about even within Senate. I know a lot of senators called it an impeachment process, and impeachment would be like the process that happens before the removal of office. So it's
that's understandable, but there is, because everyone uses impeachment because that's what directly you think, like when you're talking
It's
about
a
it.
colloquial word. However, I've done my best to correct all of you. It is not in the bylaws, so we use removal from office.
correct.
We'll probably need a second just reading each.
Yeah, no worries. And I just want to state that the main reason for this is just to ensure that we're transparent and that we follow the procedures that our own bylaws and constitution outline, as well as follow procedures brought to us by OPMA and Robert's Rule of Orders.
So I do want to ask you, tell me more about, I want to hear from you about the Judicial Committee. Can you please explain that more?
Yeah, what exactly about it?
Just explain the summary of it, basically. I just, like, how do I word this? Like, you want a Judicial Committee that would, if there were to be a rehearing, that Judicial Committee would end up making the choice in the retrial.
No, so it stated actually, in the documents itself, that the Senate still holds the ultimate decision-making authority. The Judicial Committee is solely advisory, so they can't overrule what the Senate says. They're not the ones that make the decision. It's an advisory committee. And also, as
We
depicted,
do welcome Senator Gonzalez and Senator Lawless via Zoom now.
also as depicted in this, there's a chance that, granted this passes, and we have the rehearing, that the Judicial Committee might not be formed in time, but that's incorporated into the bill that the rehearing can still happen even if the Judicial Committee has not been completely formed at that time, because it's a process. It takes time.
That is a process, and that does, I agree, that does take time. But basically what this is asking is getting, I assume these are random students that are chosen?
What do you mean by random?
How are these students selected for the Judicial Committee
It's outlined in the documents itself. We can go over that.
Can I take this from the top very, very,
Of course.
just briefly, because I'm going through this kind of linearly. So a chair, again, I chaired the meeting, so, you know, I had my complaints, which is mostly just we're not responding to emails, but, you know, that is all circumstantial. Our bylaws do call for a possible removal if you violate one or two, you know, bylaw or constitution. Elias signed on to 6 in the what is it, accountability meeting he had with Maxwell. 6 is a lot in a 4 or 5 month time span. There are certain things also that I'm not happy about. I fully agree we should have been more transparent with the students, and I think that going through this, we should go through our internal processes, work with our Director of Internal Affairs and our Director of Outreach and our advisors to better communicate with the students. I can't speak for everybody's student body. I can only speak for my own. But from the way that, you know, they've understand it when they've read the minutes and things of that nature, my vote doesn't change. And additionally, they just said we should have been informed about this. And, you know, the initial internal discussion was we did not want to rub salt in the wound. And I do have my own, you know, thoughts and feelings and opinions about that. You know, we're all students. We don't want to ruin anybody's career. We don't want to embarrass anybody. Because, you know, it is student government, but also our stipends are paid in student fees. And, you know, when you don't do your job and you violate 6.
Point of order. We're not here to relitigate the situation.
I'm not here to relitigate it. Thank you.
Of course.
But I'm just saying my vote does not change. And also the reason he was removed was for those 6 bylaw violations and some. So that he signed on to and agreed to. And also the corrective, like the hearing and the, what is it? Oh my God. Accountability process are 2 separate processes. So this means that there are issues with the executive board that they were having with him and also the Senate.
Additionally, with this bill that you have, please correct me if I'm wrong, are you asking from this bill that Senator Bryce does not get a vote in the rehearing?
Due to conflict of interest, Bryce would not chair the rehearing.
So would Bryce still get a vote in that meeting?
No.
Okay, why? What is the conflict of interest there? I just want to.
So one of the big things, the reason why he wanted to chair the meeting is because the creating the allegations, or not creating, you know what I mean. He wrote Bryce, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you worked on the complaint packet.
I worked on the complaint packet. I'm the one who motioned this thing to happen, and I asked Bryce to put it on
Said
the
asked
agenda.
for this to be on the agenda.
Okay.
And I was making the agendas at the time until we hired Amanda Hoke, our office manager. After that, I have not made a majority of our agendas. A few of them here and there, when they've gotten complicated, I have made them. However, my job in the complaint packet was not authoring them. It was, I sent out an email to every senator. I sent out an email to every executive director. And I said, this is the Senate's actions. Please send in your complaints.
I'm also, sorry, did you have some, I was going to say, I'm failing to see a conflict of interest here because what this is asking is you're asking the School of Social Science students. That is your major, like that is the the students you
Yes.
represent. You are asking those students to not get a vote in this. Because we represent students here. We don't represent ourselves. And a majority of the students we've talked to believe that this was the right decision.
Okay, I mean, I would argue against that. We've even received emails and we've had a bunch of students, or not a bunch, but we've had students speak about how they believe that this wasn't transparent. Also regarding that, there's also possible concerns of conflict of interest due to the order of succession. So that's another possible conflict.
Those are
conflict
two
of
separate
interest.
processes.
Just because they're two separate processes does not mean they don't correlate at all.
They do relate, but, okay, you should know this. You were here for this. For me to benefit from this, first we have to remove Elias, right? Then we have to vote to go through the order of succession, right? If that, becomes something, then we have to start at the very top. First, we have to vote to interview the Senate, right? Let's speak broadly, not just this scenario. First, we have to vote to go through the order of succession. Then we have to vote to go through and interview, Ray. We have to interview Ray, the VP, whoever it may be, in this scenario. And then we have to offer them the job and they have to accept it. Then we have to do this again with the internal affairs director to be VP. And then you guys also have to do this again for me if I so choose, which again, I do not have to move. And quite frankly, in the current moment, I have no interest in being internal affairs. I have not had interest in being internal affairs. And if I wanted that, I would have run for that from day one. I wanted to be a senator because I have an off-campus job that I'm very happy with. I wanted to continue my work on the task forces that I did last year. I had and currently have no interest in being internal affairs.
I just want to clarify, just because it's a separate process does not automatically exclude it again from the conflict of interest. Also, I would just like to note that while you may not want to be, you're stating that you may not want to be internal affairs now, that you have stated to me before that you showed interest in that position. So I just wanted to put that on the record.
I thought about it for a second, maybe a week, and then I realized, I'm like, this is not within my capacity. I work 20, 25 hours off campus. I take 17 credits. I can't get in that deep.
And that would be after the hearing. So at the time of the hearing, there still could have been the conflict of interest.
Javen, I wanted to
Yeah,
say something.
feel free.
We had a conversation as well. I'm not sure if you remember. We talked about the possibility of a retrial. This is just a conversation you and I had. We talked about the possibility of that. You agreed, we both agreed that a retrial would take too much time. It's not, that's what I remember from our meeting that we had.
No, I never said that it would take too much time. I said it would take time, but I never said it would take too much time.
We also agreed that it's just too much for all the other senators, that this is just something that is an ongoing process, middle of finals week. Additionally, this is what we talked about.
I know exactly what discussion you're referencing. That's absolutely mischaracterizing my words, though.
Okay, in that case, we can just drop that conversation.
Okay.
But I'm just telling you this is what I remember. So
Right.
that's fair. So.
This also does call for the rehearing to happen within 7 calendar days.
Correct.
Can I get a raise of hands? Kaylee, Crystal as well. Who is available within 7 calendar days? I'm the Speaker of Senate. I am in charge of getting all of you together. And to be frank, that is kind of difficult because we're all so busy. So 7 calendar days. Who is willing to kind of drop everything for this as things currently stand?
What do you mean by drop everything?
So we have to be, again, in compliant with LMPA. This calls for 7 calendar days. We are about to go into our break. Who is available to do this within 7 calendar days by next Tuesday?
I mean, I'm personally available, and if that 7 days is really the deciding factor, we can always motion to amend the agenda and change 7 calendar days to a longer period of time.
Hey, can I say something real quick? I'm in the comments. I don't think you
Yes.
guys can see it. So why are we, I know I missed the first 7 minutes. I was actually in the YouTube Zoom, I bet. But why are we doing a retrial? Is this like, do we have to, or are we just
No, no,
saying,
Crystal,
"Stop, this was voted on"?
This is a discussion of a possible retrial. This is just Javen motion, proposed a bill that would allow a retrial to happen, and we would have to vote on that for that to go through. So this is just the current discussion of that bill.
So someone started the bill, Javen started the bill. So we would
Yes,
talk about the bill, or we would vote on the bill?
both.
Both. We're in discussion currently.
Okay, so if we, yeah, okay. Awesome. Then if that is the case, not like an actual full retry, like we're just gonna do it all over again, I will drop everything in 7 days to attend. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more questions, concerns?
I do have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, this bill is requiring that it is held publicly. Elias had the chance to pick his initial trial to be held publicly.
Right, I don't deny that.
So
I think, again, I'll insert this. I'd like to work with you in the future. I think I know personally where I stand. And I do get a vote in this because I am still a senator. And for this to pass, it does require a 2/3 majority. I think that, and again, I speak for my school, but also as a law and policy student specifically, we should have processes for certain things. And I think that there should be an appeal process. I think that there should be more transparency within our process. And I think that the hearing process from the start should also be different because there has been a lot of confusion amongst the student body. This is not a perfect, amazing process. This is something that I don't think any of us wanted to do from day one. It's not something any of us dreamed about from day one or had nightmares about or however you want to word it. But going in and starting over, we lose a lot of valuable time. We are currently in the midst of, planning for Huskies on the Hill, which will take place in February. And it is a lot to ask to go in, undo. We've had a lot done in the past,
additionally,
6
this bill
weeks.
nullifies a lot of the work that we've done. A lot of people that we've hired onto.
Like what?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this bill does nullify previous work done, like hirings and such like that.
It nullifies Senate decisions.
What decisions are we talking about? What hiring positions?
I believe anyone that we have hired on post removal of office that.
No,
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just the way it was interpreted. So you can please do so if that's the case.
Once
Right.
again, it
So-
nullifies the Senate decisions. That's the way I'm understanding it. So any Senate decisions made between September 23rd up until today or the day of the hearing?
So would this bill be retroactive then and nullify everything, or would it just be going forward?
Retroactive.
Okay, so I just want to clarify, for the hiring things, it's contingent on the hearing itself as worded in the documents. So hiring decisions made that had no effect on, from Eli getting removed from office, those aren't nullified. That's depicted in the bill. That's why it's contingent on the hearing itself.
Also, additionally, I just want to ask you, in the initial hearing, you voted yay in removing Elias.
Correct.
Why? And you had plenty of clarifying questions during deliberations and such. I'm just wondering, you had the chance to vote nay. You listened to his defense. You viewed the evidence packet. I assume you did. So why do you just suddenly believe that this was not done correctly?
So definitely wasn't suddenly believe that. Retroactively, I believe I should have abstained from the thing. I fully take fault on that, and I'm happy to say that to the public that I should have abstained. I want to say this was a sudden thing. I even sent an email to Chancellor Lang depicting that I had concerns with the process itself. That was a little whiles back now. And I'm also just trying to address students' concerns that have been raised even more recently about the process. My question to you all would be whether or not we follow the processes we should have, and if we didn't, why wouldn't we try to fix and amend that?
I mean, we absolutely, I think we can all collectively agree that we want a system that is as perfect as it can be, so everyone can be viewed as fairly. And that's something that, we are more than willing to do so. But, I can say for myself, I believe the decision was correct. My decision, I stand by that. And
Yeah, can I respond?
Yeah.
So would you all say that all of the evidence was reviewed? All the evidence from the defense and all the evidence from the complaint packet, was that all reviewed?
For me, yes.
And how did you have access to all the evidence from the defense?
It was sent out.
When?
Sent out by Senator Bryce.
We were supposed to give our complaint and defense packets to Connor. I sent mine in by my deadline, my timeline.
The defense packet, did we get all the information from that?
Once again, I don't think we did, but also that is not my responsibility.
So my follow-up question would be, how do we make a vote on something when we don't have the evidence to support it?
I mean,
Again, and that's
The defense packet was presented. It was not shared. There were obviously many items within the hearing that weren't completed, but all were presented at some point during the hearing, and all senators had a comprehensive review as we all voted and did not abstain.
Yeah, you did vote yay, just letting you know. You agreed with,
Again,
you
that's-
agreed with the
We are
the-
representatives of our schools and not individuals.
yeah, I'm well
And
aware of
the
that.
science and mathematics department, all of the students within it are well represented by my voice and my votes through all processes of the removal and the vote for succession and the vote to extend the hiring through those succession steps.
I would like to backtrack a little bit on what you said. You said all of the defense pack and stuff was showed to us actually during the
Not
hearing.
all of it, obviously. The comprehensive review was presented, correct me if I'm wrong, for 30 minutes.
The comprehensive review. So you're saying that we don't need to go over all the evidence. Is that what
I'm not saying we don't need to, I'm saying it wasn't published. It was not given to Senate during executive session or before. And that is not our responsibility when we're proposed to vote on it.
Also, it's worth noting, Elias had the chance to defend himself. He had the chance to try to refute all the evidence compiled against him. And I want to state again that you voted yes, as you agreed with, you believe that decision was correct at the
We
time.
all know how
You-
everybody voted. We do not need to continue iterating it,
Okay.
please.
right? And I've acknowledged that multiple times
Okay.
today already. That
Okay.
so yeah, there's obviously a disconnect there, but from my whole belief, all evidence should be reviewed, and that's our duty as senators to review all evidence before making a vote on something. I feel like that's very apparent. We're supposed to uphold transparency. We're supposed to follow our constitution, our bylaws, follow OPMA.
I agree.
Yeah, so to consider that we're mostly in agreement, I would say, do you agree with that last statement?
Yeah.
That all materials, defense, and
I think this requires, yes.
Yeah, also, it's just worth noting that not every trial is going to be perfect. At the same time, we cannot keep going and going until someone gets what they please. If everyone is in agreement that that was the correct decision, then that's it. It cannot, this cannot just keep going on until one person is pleased.
yeah, so we're currently reviewing a bill that has been proposed, and I believe there should be amendments to it, where we have a judicial committee that I, as representative of science and math, cannot vote on because it does not it does not evaluate I don't see the need for a judicial committee when Senate and exec have
I second
enough
that. All of the,
cross-disciplinary and cross-judicial process to consider.
additionally, I would like to
all
note that I was
actions.
doing some snooping around, and this looks very similar to the ASUWT Seattle Executive Judicial
Correct.
Committee.
So if,
And I'm sure you're very, very well aware of everything happening between them and us right now.
to what degree? What exactly are you notion?
The email we received, their bill that they passed through their executive board, and everything happening between their executive board and ours.
What does that have to do with the judicial committee?
I'm just saying right now, my opinion, based on how I read that bill, I don't inherently think it's a good thing to be ripping things directly from them. I think maybe further
We
discussion.
also govern
with-
differently than Seattle does. We are
Yes.
two different campuses. So
Yeah, I'm aware of
But
that.
also, if we want to go through this interpretation of governing documents, that is our job. That is what the Senate does. We do the interpreting of our governing documents, procedural review regarding impeachment, sanctions, elections, grievances,
removal of offices.
removal.
Yep,
Yes,
not
but again,
impeachments.
in here it uses impeachment, so I'm reading it verbatim. To determine whether proceedings substantially complied with UW Constitution, bylaws, accessibility policy, UW policy, acceptable law. These are jobs that are done already internally, either by the Senate, our Director of Internal Affairs, Elections Chair, or our advisors. Written findings prior to disciplinary votes. Once again, I had my issues with Elias. Mostly it was a negligence and lack of communication to the Senate. I did not particularly enjoy writing that document. It was long and painful and exhausting. And then compliances with best practices and our Robert's rules, laws, Constitution and bylaws. Once again, we should know our Constitution and our bylaws. We should know, or to some degree, be practicing Robert's rules. Once again, we are students, we're young, we're learning that.
Also, I just want to say, I don't necessarily think a judicial committee is inherently bad. I think that is something in the future that maybe should exist. But at the same time, compiling a judicial committee this soon of possible students who don't know anything about ASUWT, don't know the governing documents of ASUWT, have a direct influence in this when that's our job. That's what we were elected for, and that's what we get paid to do.
I do have one question as well, though. How, and I ask this again for my students, how do we plan to compensate these students? I represent law, policy, labor studies, all of that. It is a firm and core belief of my students that individuals, it is one of the reasons I'm, and not just myself personally, but students that I've spoken to within my school are not particularly happy with the way Senate is structured right now, the amount of work we're doing versus the amount of what we're being paid, because people should be compensated fairly. We are facing potentially, a $20 minimum wage in Tacoma, which is a positive thing. However, we do need to figure out a way to compensate these 5 students when we are already on an incredibly, incredibly tight budget.
What would be the issue with it being a voluntary position?
I think that should be included. There's not an issue with it, but also it is difficult to get people to volunteer for things. We have a couple volunteer positions that are also currently in the works. And then who would sit on this hiring committee as well is another question I
I
have.
also want to let you know that ASUWT participation, I just at this school, I'm not sure about other universities. Student government participation is not really something that's high here. A lot of people don't even realize that we have a student government. So just to piggyback off what Bryce said, getting students to do something voluntarily for something they don't even really know exists, and then they're not getting compensated for it.
It's a struggle.
Students, I can speak for a lot of students. Students aren't going to do stuff for free. There's a lot of stuff that students are doing, a lot of jobs, clubs, activities, academics. This is something that is going to take time, and students are going to be expected to read all of this, read governing documents for something they're not actively a part of. So just,
So your argument is that students aren't super involved, so therefore they want to.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's going to be time consuming. It's going to be difficult to find random students to come in, do this voluntarily. And if we were to compensate them, that takes a while to get approved.
Okay, what's the argument about how this will take a while? You're just assuming that all students on UWT are not going to want to do this. You don't think it would be a good thing for the criminal justice students to gain experience? What's the argument?
Can I add something in? I'm in the chat right now. I just wanted to add the fact in that I don't think adding a whole nother part of the student government when our current student government isn't a tailspin. I don't think adding things in, I don't think we're like stable enough to do that because we can't even get a hold of the Elias situation. And this is going to be 5 new people and a brand new structure, brand new appendage onto the government. And I think we should focus on stabilizing our own government so we can actually do something for our students.
This is a focus on stabilizing the government. That's the point of the Judicial Committee.
I know, but you can't add something into something totally unstable. It would just further.
We're still trying to catch up. And we're
Yeah, we
On
need
what
to have
exactly?
some
This is
sort
a
of
different form of-
foundation
this is
to
a
build
different
on,
form of
and
government
right
we're
now we
adding.
don't have any of that.
So, okay, can you guys clarify to me how we're unstable, what it is we're trying to catch up on?
We're still discussing this like 6 weeks later. I know, and again, I think that there are things that we do need to review internally, but we need to work collectively as a Senate. Again, I think that we should establish an appeal process because if there is a removal process, there should be an appeal process. I think that we need to work with our Director of Outreach and our Director of Internal Affairs to have more transparency to our student body. Once again, the students that I have spoken to and relayed from beginning to end, this entire timeline, which has been exhausting because it is long, and you know just as well that this did not happen overnight with the snap of a finger. This happened over the course of months. And that, to the students, it appears that this happened overnight. We need to be having these discussions with students. We need to be talking about them. We need to be reviewing internal processes, bylaw changes, possible constitutional changes that will be put on the ballot. But I think what Crystal is saying is we are a mess right now, but going in, introducing more people, having more people involved in this, more cooks in the kitchen, for lack of a better metaphor, becomes messy and difficult, and everybody is a moving target because once again, it took so long to have our hearing because we all have very conflicting schedules. We couldn't all figure out an extra, 2 hours in our schedule to have this hearing. So we had to do it early. It was supposed to be scheduled for 2 hours, but not even all of us were available at 8 a.m. It is constantly moving. I think that we should be working together collaboratively as a Senate to come together and work to come up with something that all of our student body will be satisfied with. I think first we should, in our bylaws, establish a hearing process because right now we just have what we did, which is, approved by the UW Attorney General. That's its own thing, but we need to put that in writing somewhere. We need to have, from day one, a process of communicating to the students. And once again, I don't think email bombarding students is the best way to do things, but maybe we should have emailed them like, hey, this was the Senate's decision on this thing. Hey, we're having a hearing on this date. Hey, here was the result of this hearing.
I do want to say that the moment this happened, I was talking to a lot of people and I asked, hey, we should email the student body. Like, should we do this? The response I got was, we don't want to add salt to the wound. It's like, it's not really the best thing ever hearing that, you got removed. And then minutes later, you see an email with your name written on it saying that you got removed. So it's like, that is a conflicting decision. And that is something we should have done. We should have communicated better to the student body. But at the same time, that's not our responsibility as senators to do that. There are other roles to communicate that through email and or something like that.
So senators aren't supposed to communicate with their student body?
We are, but regarding a decision, a collective decision that was made, that's something someone from exec needs to do.
A collective decision by the Senate. I believe we're full within our capacity to communicate to
We can
students.
we can communicate, but a decision that we all collectively made should have been, that email should have been sent out by someone like director of outreach, someone, an advisor, someone like that.
Okay, I think you've missed the point I was trying to make is we should, our communication to students was not the best it could have been or what it should have been. And we need to look within ourselves internally, within our governing documents to, fix this issue. There are a lot of issues and that have been highlighted. And I get to hear about it from you guys, the executive board, students that are mine and are not mine. So once again, I appreciate that you have brought forward this bill. It is asking for a lot. Like, you're asking for a rehearing. You're asking for a judicial committee. I think those should be two separate bills. Because
Two bills in one, basically.
that is, again, my opinion. I think that you should be asking for, if you're going to ask for one thing, it should be, that is why when I propose when I'm talking about my things, I'm talking about, here's, our issue with our transparency and communication to students. Here's the issue with the hearing. Here's the lack of the appeal process. Those would be three separate things that we put through. But once again, and I'm not trying to argue with you, I think that we need to work together collectively, all 7 of us, to come up with something that works, that we can make in our bylaws and possibly codify. And again, is anybody opposed to just sitting down, all 7 of us, or however many of us there are at our next meeting, and working on this? Because we can work on this in our meetings. And right now, our Senate meetings are scheduled on Wednesdays from 12:15 to 1:15 in winter quarter. Is anybody opposed to that at all?
No.
No.
I'm not opposed to
Does
that.
anyone have any other clarifying questions or anything we can talk about, or?
Regarding
I
the
just
bill?
wanted to add that, yes, I agree that appeal process and all that and the judicial thing, I think that that's a good idea moving forward. I think that it might be better suited to start in the coming year, next year, and kind of just continue what we're doing now to reestablish ourselves and get us stabilized and then bring that into the upcoming year. I don't think it's appropriate to do it now when we're still trying to stabilize from everything that happened.
I would argue against that. This is a point of stabilization. The whole reason for this is to increase stabilization within the ASUWT.
I don't think so, because it's going to be retroactive. So it's going to be going back, and we're going to be at the same point that we are now, just trying to get through all that when we could be focusing on doing things for the students and making collective decisions and doing all that now.
So to that degree, I would ask you the same thing that I asked everybody else. Whether or not the procedures that we should have followed were followed, and if they were not, why would we not fix that? I think that's a disconnect there, is you all agree that it wasn't as transparent as it should be, that there might have been potential issues. I don't see why we want to try and fix that. Just because it takes a lot of time. We signed up for this job. That is something that we should do. Just because we're busy does not mean we should neglect our duties.
I don't think that we did anything that wasn't within the rules. Our advisors were there. They saw every step of the process. They advised us on doing that. I think that we did follow the rules that are already set in place. But should the rules be improved in the future? Yes. But I don't think that we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
And again, I think that is the whole point, and this could just be, our rules are not what they should be. And we need to change that. That is our job.
I would like to add in the part about, just the educational piece, that historically policy and law, like in the real world, whether that be with a specific program that has to follow federal law and abide by, their own corporate rules and stuff like that, it is almost never, unless there is, something that horribly went, which this is not something that horribly went. A clear injustice has been done. There is no clear injustice that has been done. So any retroactive thing that you would do would not be well. It's always for the upcoming time. It's always how your government can make things better for you in the future. You can't just retroactive do, it's just he agreed to step into this role. He knew what the Constitution was. He knew the bylaws weren't really there. And he knew, every single process. So if you were to be impeached, we don't have really
Removal of office,
we
not
don't have
impeach.
really clear bylaws. And you can't just redo the Constitution. I'm not saying that you want him to get reheard or whatever, but I'm saying that you can't retroactively edit the Constitution to make the situation better. It was what it was. It wasn't really clear. It wasn't really, and that's what we're trying to do better in the future. But I don't think at all, in no sort of way has retroactive additions been made successfully.
What
It's
edits
always a
to
mess.
what edits to the Constitution are you talking about? And we do have full
So-
authority to appeal
So
this.
I know we have full authority, but it's not really about authority. It's about doing what's best for the students, what's best for the government, our unstable government as it is, and what's doing best for the future. You can't, it's not you can do a lot of things. There's a lot of things that the bylaws don't specify. We definitely can have a retrial. We can have an appeal. There's no rule saying that we can't, right? But what would be best? And I get the argument wasn't that we did it right in the first part, but you heard the evidence, we all heard the evidence, we all went through the trial, and we all followed it the criminal justice major, I believe, said we all followed it. Buddy and Connor were there watching every sort of the process. We had it already reviewed by the chancellor, which she emailed us along with several other people that Elias would talk to, saying that there's nothing in the bylaws, even the legal team. There's nothing in the bylaws, and we did nothing wrong.
They were saying
So
that there's
retroactively, huh?
They were saying that there's nothing currently in the bylaws that permit an appeal. That's the purpose of this, is changing it so that we do have an appeal.
Yes, so we can definitely change it. We can definitely edit it moving forward. But even if we were to add an appeal, to make this retroactive and have Elias retried would be, I think we could do it, but I think it would be against everyone's best interest. And clearly that's not what a majority of the student bodies want. I get that each one of us represent our own student body. So when you wrote the bill, is this what your student body wants, or how did you come to write I guess I want to see what your thinking is.
I
When
mean,
you came to write this bill and propose it.
we've all seen emails from multiple students that they've had issues with the trial itself, and I've also spoken to a lot of students that have expressed those concerns. So yes, we are absolutely
I'm also
hearing
a
from students.
little, some of those emails were a little interesting, in my opinion. I believe there was I saw at least one student who was not even a student at ASUWT anymore. They graduated. In what way do their concerns align with what's going on right now?
I agree. If it's a student that graduated from ASUWT, their concerns don't align, but I don't think that negates the rest of the students.
I'm not saying, but again, it wasn't like a plethora of student emails that we got. It was just once a day for like
One or two?
5 days. I don't think there was a total over 10 of the emails that we got.
So yeah, we have whole student bodies saying that they do not want a retrial, and they think, yeah, we should restructure.
And I've
but
spoken with my
as
constituents.
far as the
They don't believe a retrial is
motivation.
necessary.
I've spoken to mine, and they do. And even just going off the principle that we're supposed to follow our constitution and bylaws and strive for transparency.
We did.
For every
Yeah,
single
but
Senate
I get what
action,
you're
we
saying.
don't go and consult our students.
Are we?
I am going to let Eamon speak, please.
So I think one of the things I wanted to ask about, for the first part of the bill, that would be asking for a rehearing, right? Would it be, and from what I've been hearing, one of the main issues has been the lack of that appeal process? Should that be should that be the direction we go towards, maybe having the appeal process in place if,
That-
say, we wanted to work towards a rehearing?
That is what I was thinking. Again, I think that we're going back and forth. We're getting stuck on this. We are all exhausted. For me personally, outside of ASUWT, this has been a really long quarter. I can't speak for anybody, but maybe a show of hands. Who here has felt like this quarter has been excessively long? But once again, we need to be working collaboratively. We're going back and forth. We're bickering. And it's not accomplishing anything. We have been presented with an excellent opportunity to work together collectively, to review our bylaws, to review our constitution, and say, here is where we're facing issues. Again, I do not think your bill is inherently bad. I think there are flaws to it, but I think that we should be working together collectively. I think that we should work with our Director of Internal Affairs and our Director of Outreach to discuss, once again, how we can be more transparent with our student body regarding the internal workings of ASUWT when people move, when people resign. For example, the graduate senator resigned earlier this year. They probably feel some sort of way that we don't know because we don't have a graduate senator anymore. That's an issue, and we need to be communicating that to our students. There is an issue with internal movement and transparency to the student body. That is a bill. We don't have an appeal process. That is a bill. We do not have a codified hearing process in our bylaws or in our constitution. That is a bill. We are going back and forth over this. I do not think it is perfect. I do not think it is the best thing ever, but you have highlighted excellently that there are internal issues, and we should continue this discussion and make it bigger than this one specific instance.
Javen, do you have anything to say, or?
Yeah, so I'm a little confused. Like, we can still collaborate in the future. I don't see how this bill eliminates any collaboration from us codifying more bylaws in the future. I'm sorry, I'm not entirely sure I understand the argument there.
It does not. I am just perhaps getting a little, I feel like we're chasing our own tails here. We're running in circles.
I think we're starting to run low on time.
We're
so
exhausting
If
ourselves.
is there anything else anyone wants to say?
I would like to clarify, I representing the Science and Math Department, I perceive the bill as a stepping stone. I don't intend for what's written to be enacted, as it needs work and it needs thoughtful discussion. What we've done for the last 40 minutes is not thoughtful discussion. It's very overview and very surface level. This needs more time, and it needs cross-disciplinary and cross-evaluation between actually having a copy of the Constitution and bylaws, actually considering what separate bills, like Bryce has mentioned, can be focused on rather than shotgunning the problems. We have a lot of stability issues, and this starts the process. So I see there's two paths forward. We can either enact this bill and amend it later, or we can stop, think about it, continue working on it throughout multiple meetings, and actually submit something as ASUWT 2526 to fix these issues rather than submitting bills that are short term.
Two things I'd like to say. One, we can motion to amend the bill here and now if there was like a specific thing that you had an issue with. Second, I mean, you just outlined it yourself. This is a stepping stone. That's what it is. It doesn't stop us from looking more into the Constitution and bylaws later. So why wouldn't we take a stepping stone to go forward if this is pushing us up? What's the argument against that?
The exact wording is not in alignment with the bylaws.
Are you talking about the word impeachment?
The word impeachment, and I believe many of the dates are not aligned with the actual events that had occurred. Like
Could you
September
point out the dates?
23rd impeachment hearing in the second whereas preamble.
Let's see.
I cannot confirm that the dates are
The
accurate.
hearing was held on October 21st. We had a Senate meeting where Senator Namont requested to me that we put, we talk about this whole process and concerns. And we did. And then, we will go through this. Senator Namont was like, okay, I'd like to have this on the agenda, requested to me. Again, I was making the agendas at the time, as we did not have an office manager. It is the only thing on the agenda. We go, we vote on it, it passes unanimously. Then we, have our evidence packet, we carry on, we're tired. Student life, so much fun, wonderful, amazing. Then we have the hearing. We had a vote to have a hearing, and then we had the hearing. So there was one hearing on October, I believe it was the 21st, but you know what? We're going to go check the website right now once I'm connected to the internet.
So I would just like to say, so the definition of impeachment, the action of calling into question the integrity or validity of something. So on September 23rd, that's when we voted to have the hearing. So that could in turn be considered the impeachment hearing. As we've discussed, impeachment and removal from office, not synonymous. So
Impeachment is mentioned nowhere in the Constitution or bylaws.
Right,
But
I didn't say it was.
What Javen is saying now is that I guess would be, again, colloquially and generally speaking, what the word impeachment means. It means to, hey, we want to have it and go and look into this thing. Yes?
Correct. And just because our word's not mentioned in the bylaws does not mean that we can't use it.
Phenomenal.
I want to motion for a roll call vote regarding this matter.
Senator Namont motions for a roll call vote. Do I see a second on the table?
To on this bill.
Yes, I don't inherently have to entertain a motion for a motion to be made. So Senator Namont has motioned for a roll call vote. Do I see a motion to have a roll call vote to, are we approving or denying?
Oh, to deny this bill.
Do I see a motion? A second?
I just have one quick question before that.
Yeah, the motion does fail. Thank you, actually. Motion
Thank you.
fails. Okay.
So I just have a quick question. It was on a point Bryce brought up earlier about potentially separating this into two bills, which is something I agree with. How would that work?
I think we would just have to basically go in and cut it up into two. Yes?
I mean, yeah, there's a couple different ways you could go about it. I mean, if you really wanted to, you can motion to amend it here and there. But I believe that they work together. The establishing corrective rehearing, this is just evidence as to why we need a judicial committee. That's why it's tied into one bill.
I mean, I think for me, we can establish a judicial committee without all of this.
I mean, yeah, we absolutely could establish it without it, but it's just evidence as to why I believe we need one, which is
Thank
why
you.
they're tied into the same bill.
Thank you
Of course.
for the clarification. So, where I personally stand is I think that we have highlighted many internal issues over the 57 minutes. But I think personally, we should, again, we can discuss this during our winter. We have so many winter meetings together, guys. Are you guys excited for winter quarter? Yes? We're so excited. Yay, winter quarter, more Senate meetings from 12:15 to 1:15 on Wednesdays. We are excited. We are thrilled. We can meet. We can discuss this. A productive way to use our time. Personally, I think we should, wrap this up. Do I see a motion on the table regarding a vote for this bill?
I motion. Crystal, do you want to do it?
You can go. You can go. Yeah.
I motion a vote to deny ASUWT Senate Bill number 1.
Senator Namont motions to not pass this bill. Do I see a second on the table?
I second.
I
Senator
second.
Lawless seconds. All right, this is a 2/3 vote. So, all in favor of not passing this?
Wait, so just, oh,
Oh,
Aye.
it's a
It's a
roll
roll
call
call.
vote? It's a roll call vote?
so wait, a
Phenomenal.
yay would be for,
Sorry, Bryce, clarification. You guys said roll call this motion, correct?
yes,
You did?
yes,
Did you intend this to be a roll call?
yes.
Okay. Let's, let's re-clarify that for the public.
This is a roll call vote, so we will be going down
And just,
by,
just to clarify, does a yay indicate that we are in support of this bill, or we want to, we? want
the
to-
way you have worded it, a yay means that the bill does not pass. A nay is a vote to pass.
Okay.
Because of the way you worded it. If you had a roll call vote to pass the bill, yay would be passing, nay would be failing. But because you motioned to fail it, a yay is not pass, a nay is a pass.
Okay.
And an abstention is an abstention regardless. So, let us see. Well, thank you. All right. Education Senator,
Yay.
Engineering and Technology Senator,
Nay.
Milgard Business Senator,
Nay.
Pre-Major Senator,
Yay.
Criminal Justice Senator,
Yay.
Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, Politics, Philosophy, Public Affairs, yay. Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, Science and Mathematics.
Yay.
For nay is to pass, yay is to fail.
Yay.
Can someone please motion to rescind that motion, please?
Do I see a motion to rescind?
I motion to rescind.
Senator Mott motions to rescind. Do I see a second on the table?
I second. this one.
Senator Gonzalez rescinds. Do I see a motion?
Wait,
Mhm.
sorry, never mind.
All right.
We motion to do another vote.
Do I see a motion regarding a vote?
I motion.
No, Bryce, you
I know.
rescinded, now you have to vote on the rescinding of the motion.
So are we voting again?
Yes, because you guys confused
Yes.
everything.
Okay.
Yes.
So-
Do I see a motion on the table regarding a vote for
No,
this?
Bryce,
No?
you have to vote
Oh.
on the rescinding of the
Okay,
motion.
oh, sorry,
So
my
all
bad.
those in favor say
All in favor of rescinding?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aye.
All opposed? All abstaining? Aye. Okay, the motion is adopted. 502, the motion is adopted. We are rescinding this.
Okay, so now for points of clarification here, let's make the motion positive so that yay means yes, nay means no, to avoid further confusion for the public.
I apologize for that.
Thank you.
I motion to approve the bill.
Senator Gonzalez motions to approve. Do I see a second?
I second.
All right. Senator Namont seconds. We roll call again. Education Senator, do you pass, fail, yay or nay?
Nay.
Engineering and Technology Senator,
Nay.
Milgard Business Senator,
Yay.
Pre-Major Senator,
Nay.
Social Work and Criminal Justice Senator,
Nay.
Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, PPPA, nay. Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, Science and Mathematics.
Nay.
The motion fails 106. The motion is not adopted. Now we have the rest of our agenda to get through. Discussion,
I
senators.
motion.
Oh, wait, no, we don't have to motion for it.
Motion to.
Oh, wait. Crystal?
I motion to table the rest of these issues until next time.
We have a motion to table.
You're unable to table multiple motions at one time. If you would like to do individual ones, you can, or you can adjourn the meeting, but everything will go off the table for next meeting.
We have to table.
You have to motion to adjourn,
Okay,
Crystal,
okay.
or
Did I-
you motion to individually table
I-
each one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little confused. Are we done doing the bill? Is it we're done
Yes,
doing
Yes.
but we
the
do
bill,
have
I'd like to
other
motion
agenda
to adjourn.
items. We have a presentation and, wait,
Oh,
we have a discussion, we have an
Okay, yeah.
interview for the vacant ASUWT commuter senator position, who is here today. Then we have an executive session to present and discuss both the vacant Court 17 senator and commuter senator positions, a vote to interview the vacant ASUWT Corp senator. At our next Senate meeting, a vote to hire the commuter senator, her interview today, another executive session to discuss the transfer senator that will be presented. So that's on there twice. Okay.
yeah,
And then a vote to interview the candidate for the transfer senator position. And then a vote to approve or revise the legislative agenda, which I would like to note that that is pretty important.
yeah, I'll wait. I can't see the agenda in front of me right now.
So we're going to keep going? Okay. How exciting. All right. Candidate for the ASUWT commuter senator position, will you please come up to the microphone? Thank you for being here today, Elle. We are so excited to have you. You'll give just a brief little speech as to why you would be a good senator representing the commuter student body. And then senators may ask you a couple clarifying questions. So take it away.
Great. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, please speak up though, for
Great,
the
okay.
record.
So, hello. I'd like to thank you for allowing me this opportunity. I'm very excited to be able to potentially join ASUWT as this year's commuter senator. My name is Elle, and I'm a senior majoring in global studies. I take the 400 bus every day to get to classes and my student job, and without it, I would not be able to enjoy anything this campus has to offer. So throughout my time at UW-Tacoma, I've always felt welcomed and like I belonged. From the Center for Equity and Inclusion, which I visit every day I have classes, to the Center for Student Involvement, where I currently work as a student center coordinator, even to our student Discord server, I felt at home, and I've truly loved being at this school because of it. Due to financial constraints, I was unable to pursue higher education abroad, so UW was not my first choice of a school. But I really feel as though that my going here was a blessing in disguise, and I have a huge drive to help others feel that way as well. Attending some of the constant activities UW has to offer, as well as simply being part of our community, has really helped me to deepen my bonds with my fellow students and give me wonderful memories. I feel the need strongly to give back to my fellow students in my own way. Through my work at the Center for Student Involvement, I've partly been able to do that through interacting with and running community events, as well as Dog Bones. And through that, I have been more fulfilled through my work, but I think I could be doing more, which is why I have been interested in this position with ASUWT. So having met all of the ASUWT executive board through my position at the CSI, as well as many of its senators, I know that they take pride in their goal to make UW-Tacoma the best it can be, and I would really love to join with them in that goal of bettering our school and community. As an RSO officer with the Japanese Student Association, and especially through being an RSO officer for the UW Discord Club, I've been able to meet a lot of people. Though I can always be better at attending events and reaching out to people more and more, I feel as though that I am lucky enough to already have a good network of fellow students to ask about issues facing them and their thoughts on important matters. I know that we are a majority community campus, and I believe that my experience with public transit gives me the necessary insight to speak on behalf of my fellow commuters. Those who drive and those who use public transit face separate but equally important challenges to their learning and participation in our community, And if approved as the UWT commuter senator for this year, I would make it my goal to listen to my fellow commuters in order to more accurately represent our sizable portion of the student body. If selected, I would make sure that I continue being an active member of the UWT campus and community and make sure that I am an excellent representative of ASUWT, my fellow commuters, and the student body as a whole. I would ensure that I listen to others' thoughts and bring them up when appropriate and be a friendly face on campus that people can trust in. I hope that I have demonstrated that I am a good fit for this position, but I gladly welcome questions if there are any. Thank you very much for your time.
Do we have any questions, senators?
I've been very interested in what the community senator can help us be more aware of and how we can start better representing computer students. I was wondering, as of right now, if you have a representative idea of what the largest problem for commuter students is.
Absolutely, it would be parking, I believe. While I do not drive, I have heard from plenty of my fellow students that there are plenty of issues with finding parking, enough spots, that sort of thing. Because I am not in this position yet, I have not conducted like a whole lot of research or anything like that. I think that it is a place that we are able to start and should be able to start with. Yeah, that is.
So you're very involved on campus, which is amazing. My only question for that would be, does your involvement in all of those other, like the RSOs and the Center for Student Involvement, does that still leave you with plenty of time to do ASUWT work?
So I would say that it does. So for the UWT Discord, it's mostly online work. We do have in-person events. We just had one in the doghouse recently that I believe Sam was also at. But for the Japanese Student Association, we are currently in pre-registration status due to a lack of officers because a lot of our officers have graduated and moved back to Japan and that sort of thing. And with the CSI, at least for this week, or sorry, for this quarter, it's twice a week. So I would say that my workload is not that big. For this coming quarter, I will have classes 2 times a week as well. So I believe that I should be able to make it work, especially because I believe that meetings next quarter will be during Husky Hour. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, in that case, then I think that that should be just fine, as well as, if I'm needed for any out of office, or rather out of meeting things, I think that I shouldn't have any issue making it work. But if you have any more questions regarding my schedule or anything like that, please ask.
So I do have a question for you. I've said it before, I'll say it probably a million times. I worked on the Food Equity Basic Needs Task Force last year. One of their main priorities was transportation. Transportation is a basic need. We were in, would you be willing to, as a senator, provide this task force with your insight and additionally attend any events that this task force is working on? I know there were potentially some collaborative efforts with the task force and the director of outreach and maybe some other things happening with Peers Transit, Sound Transit as a whole, to educate students on how to navigate the public transit system. I know you said you mentioned you take public transit. I'm not privy to what is happening right now because that's not my position, so.
Yeah, I absolutely would be willing to do all of that. I believe that, if I were to be the commuter senator, it would be my job and my responsibility to make sure that I am, hearing people out and getting the word out and making sure that I am being effective in my role. So yes, to answer all of that, I would be more than willing to do so, yes.
Thank you. Senators, any other questions? Crystal, Kaylee, questions? Okay.
No.
So the agenda is a little goofy. We will, first on our agenda, do I see a motion to enter executive session, not enter executive session, for the discussion of candidates for both the vacant ASUWT Court 17 Senator position and for the vacant ASUWT Commuter Senator position?
I motion to not enter executive session.
So we will not be entering executive session, which means that the letter, I did receive a letter of interest from a student for the Court 17 Senator position.
Excuse me. Jacob, I'll get it. I'll get them the point. Please sit down, member of the public. Thank you.
I did receive a letter of interest regarding the Court 17 Senator position. L is for the Commuter Senator position. I am informing the Senate that there is a letter of interest pending for the Court 17 Senator. So by not going into executive session, that will not be presented and not be discussed.
Can we just table for next week?
If you would like to motion to table, you can motion to table. I am entertaining a motion regarding presenting and discussing candidates for both the ASUWT Court 17 Senator position and the Commuter Senator position. We would discuss that in executive session.
I motion to table this.
A motion to table, do I see a second?
I second.
All right, this has been tabled. Wait, no, sorry, my bad. All right, all in favor of tabling?
Hey, you're far, Bill.
Aye.
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 Nay.
All right, wait,
Aye.
okay, so aye. All in favor, wait, sorry, we're gonna do that again. All in favor of tabling?
Aye.
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 All right, that was 3, correct? All opposed?
Aye.
All abstaining? Aye, okay. Crystal, how did you vote?
Table it.
Okay. The motion is not adopted. Wait, the motion is adopted. We table this. 4-2-1. All right, we have now a vote to interview candidate for the, okay. Vote to interview candidate for the vacant ASUWT Court 17 Senator position. We didn't see their letter of interest, so do I see a motion on the table regarding this vote?
I motion to table it.
I second.
Senator Coppage motions to table. Senator Amat seconds. All in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Aye.
Kaylee, Crystal?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All abstaining? Aye. The motion is adopted. It is tabled to next meeting. All right. A vote to hire interviewed candidate for the ASUWT vacant, a vote to hire candidate for the vacant ASUWT Commuter Senator position.
I motion for a vote to the ASUWT commuter position.
Senator Namont motions. All in favor?
I
Wait, no,
second.
sorry, second.
Second.
Senator Namont motions. Senator Gonzalez seconds. We're voting. So, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. This is a 2/3 vote, yes?
All opposed?
All opposed? All abstaining?
Aye.
All right. Aye, the motion is adopted, 403.
Just a point of order here. Thank you to the member of the public who addressed a concern. The rescinding of the vote happened before a motion was carried for the vote on the bill, Senate Bill number 1. So that will be invalidated and will need to be voted again. So if someone would be able to motion for that, we
I
can do that
motion-
before executive
I motion to
session.
vote on the action of the ASUWT Senate Bill number 1.
Okay, so Senator, okay,
I second.
Senator Namont motions, Senator Gonzalez seconds. We're back on voting for the,
So a yay means to pass, a nay means to not pass.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Sorry, give me 1 minute. What's wrong, Jacob? What can I am. What can I help with? I don't know exactly. Go ahead. Go, please. Please. Sorry? Sure. Yes, you can.
I'll go ahead and read it for verbatim for y'all. Can a member move to rescind during the vote on a motion? Senator Speaker.
Can you please
It's-
repeat yourself?
A member cannot move to rescind during a vote on a motion. Under Robert's rules, no new motion, including a motion to rescind, is in order while the assembly is in fact acting on voting. Once the chair has said the questions on the motion to deny, those in favor, the vote is underway. At that point, you cannot interrupt the vote with a new motion. You cannot rescind something that has not been adopted yet anyways. And if the goal was to stop the vote, the only proper interruption before the vote starts are points of order, which can be raised, which is a privilege motion, division of assembly if you question the results, request for information only addressed to the Senate Speaker, and a parliamentary inquiry, which any senator can do to ask how to proceed. But once the chair has actually begun taking the vote, even voice vote, or you said motion or roll call vote, the vote must be completed unless the chair decides to restart because of the confusion, or a member raises a point of order saying the vote is out of order because of a procedural fault. After the vote is complete, if the motion passes and becomes the decision of the body, then a motion to rescind or motion to amend something previously adopted becomes proper. So bottom line, that motion to rescind was improper. You cannot interrupt the vote. You cannot apply to something still pending, and it becomes available only after an action is adopted. Again, this whole meeting can be ruled null and void, and you are in danger of violating RCW 42.30. There is an active case. I would ask you to please not be prejudicial and follow the state laws and your Robert's rules.
Clarifying question for you. So you're asking for us to table this or to? It's on the back. It takes a little effort.
Anyways, what are you asking me?
Yes.
What are you asking me?
Are you asking us to table this, not go through with it?
Oh, just to be clear, I'm a member of the public. I can't ask you to do anything.
Okay, thank
So
you.
what are you asking me to currently?
Sorry, I had a hard time hearing you. My apologies.
Bryce, just continue with the rest of the meeting at the agenda item set and we'll figure it out.
Okay, thank you, Connor. So the motion is adopted.
Sorry. I disconnected. The Wi-Fi dropped.
Don't worry about it too much. So the motion is adopted to hire the Court 17 Senator position 403. Okay. Now I see on the agenda, executive session, present and discuss candidate for the vacant transfer senator position. Entering the executive session, I will present a letter of interest.
I motion to not enter executive session. Or sorry, I motion to table.
Motion to table. Do I see a second?
I second.
Senator Namont motions, Senator Chandler seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Crystal, Kaylee, how do you vote?
Yeah, she wasn't giving.
Aye.
Crystal?
Aye.
Okay, and Joshua, how did you vote? Sorry, I didn't hear. Aye, all right. All opposed? All abstaining?
Aye.
Aye, the
Aye.
motion, oh wait. The motion is adopted 403. Now interview candidate for the vacant ASUWT transfer senator position at the next ASUWT senator meeting. I have not presented a candidate in executive session, so do I see a motion on our table regarding this vote?
I
You can motion to go through with it. You can motion to table.
motion to table.
Motion to table, Senator Namlat. Do I see a second?
I second.
Senator Chandler seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Kaylee, how do you vote?
Aye.
She said aye.
Aye. All right. All abstaining?
Aye.
Wait,
Aye.
sorry. All opposed? All abstaining?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is adopted. 304. Discussion. Our Director of Legislative Affairs sent over our legislative agenda. So, and it is 4 pages. Would you like me to send this all to you?
Yes.
We have
please.
been here for an hour and 30 minutes. So I will send this all to you for your review.
I motion to table
The discussion or the vote?
the discussion.
Senator Namlat motions to table this discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I second.
Oh, wait, yes.
Aye.
Sorry, we needed a second. My bad. Senator Namlat motions. Do I see a second on the table?
I second.
Senator Coppage seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? All abstaining? Aye. The motion is adopted 601. The discussion is tabled. There is now a vote to approve or revise the ASUWT legislative agenda for the 2026 session. Do I see a motion?
I motion to table the vote.
I second.
Senator Coppage motions to table. Senator Namlat seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Crystal, Kaylee.
Aye.
Crystal.
No, she died.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Yes, this is a vote to
Okay, yeah.
table the approving.
Aye.
All right. All opposed, all abstaining, aye, the motion is adopted. We will vote to either approve or revise the legislative agenda the first week of January. How exciting. Do we have any senator updates from anybody? Any advisor updates?
Okay.
Any chair updates? Okay. We will be meeting that first week of our quarter. Please send in any agenda items as soon as possible to Amanda. I do not want to disturb her over the break. We will all be, we'll be meeting on Wednesdays, same place. We'll be meeting at the same place on Wednesdays from 12:15 to 1:15 weekly. Please enjoy your break, get some rest. I look forward to our Senate meetings, and I think that we all should come in next quarter, open minds, open hearts. We have identified problems. Thank you for doing that, Javen. And I think, again, we should all discuss them together. And I'll have Amanda put that on the agenda, some type of discussion or drafting of a Senate bill to amend our bylaws. I will also reach out to the two applicants who sent in letters of interest, telling them that we will interview them in January. Additionally, Connor, Internal Affairs, and myself will reach out to Al regarding the beginning process of bringing them on as a senator. Thank you. Do well on your finals. Study hard. Yes. Academic excellence. Do I see a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Senator
I
Nawat
second.
motions. Kaylee Lawless seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
I
All right.
Aye.
All abstaining? Wait, all opposed? All abstaining? Aye. The motion's adopted. Meeting's adjourned at 10:29. Thank you, senators.